Odysseus stands as one of the most complex figures in ancient Greek mythology, a hero defined not by brute strength alone but by intelligence, endurance, and the ability to survive when the world turns hostile. He was the king of Ithaca, a small but strategically important island kingdom, and a central figure in Homer's epic poem The Odyssey, which was composed around the 8th century BCE and reflects much older oral traditions. Unlike Achilles, who sought glory through combat, Odysseus became famous for his mind, his adaptability, and his willingness to bend rules when survival demanded it. The Greeks called this quality metis, a form of cunning intelligence that allowed a man to navigate chaos, deception, and uncertainty. Through Odysseus, the ancient world explored what it truly meant to be heroic in a universe governed by fickle gods and unforgiving fate. His story is not simply about victory, but about endurance, loss, temptation, and the long road home. It is a tale that reflects the ancient Greek understanding of human struggle, where intelligence could rival strength and patience could outlast force. To understand Odysseus is to understand how the Greeks viewed resilience itself. Odysseus first rose to prominence during the Trojan War, where his cleverness shaped the conflict as much as any sword. Though not the strongest warrior among the Greeks, he was indispensable to their success, often acting as strategist, negotiator, and problem solver. Ancient sources credit him with helping recruit Achilles for the war, and later exposing Achilles when he attempted to avoid battle by hiding among women. Odysseus also played a crucial role in stealing sacred objects required for Troy's fall, including the Palladium, a statue believed to protect the city. His most famous contribution was the Trojan Horse, a deceptive gift that allowed Greek warriors to enter Troy and end a decade-long war. This act cemented Odysseus's reputation as a master of strategy and deception, but it also planted the seeds for future suffering. Many of the gods, particularly Poseidon, viewed Odysseus's cunning as arrogance rather than wisdom. The Trojan War ended in victory, but for Odysseus's triumph marked the beginning of a far more dangerous journey. His return home would test every aspect of his character. The journey from Troy to Ithaca should have taken weeks, yet it stretched into 10 years of wandering across a hostile and enchanted world. Early in his voyage, Odysseus and his men encountered the Sirens, where greed led to unnecessary losses and foreshadowed future mistakes. Soon after, they reached the land of the Lotus Eaters, where temptation replaced violence as the primary threat. The lotus fruit caused forgetfulness and apathy, offering an escape from suffering at the cost of identity and purpose. Odysseus forcibly removed his men from this false paradise, demonstrating his role as a leader who understood that comfort could be as dangerous as monsters. This moment reflects a recurring theme in his story, where survival often requires resisting the easier path. Odysseus consistently chose hardship over surrender, even when rest and oblivion beckoned. His leadership was rooted in foresight rather than compassion alone. The road home demanded constant vigilance. One of Odysseus's most famous encounters was with the Cyclops, Polyphemus, a giant who embodied brute strength without law or hospitality. Trapped in the Cyclops' cave, Odysseus devised a plan that relied entirely on intelligence rather than force. He blinded Polyphemus with a sharpened stake after intoxicating him with wine, then escaped by clinging beneath the giant's sheet. Odysseus identified himself as nobody, a clever trick that prevented the Cyclops from receiving help. Yet this victory revealed Odysseus's greatest flaw: pride. As his ship sailed away, he shouted his real name in triumph, provoking Polyphemus to call upon his father Poseidon for revenge. This single act transformed a clever escape into a divine curse. Poseidon's wrath would haunt Odysseus for years, shaping the rest of his journey. As Odysseus continued his voyage, he encountered the god Zeus, who gifted him a bag containing all unfavorable winds, leaving only the breeze that would carry him home. Within sight of Ithaca, Odysseus's exhausted crew, suspecting treasure, opened the bag and unleashed the trapped winds. The ships were blown back across the sea, erasing nearly a decade of struggle in a single moment. This incident highlights the fragile nature of trust and leadership, as well as the consequences of human weakness. Even when the path home was clear, doubt and greed intervened. Zeus refused further help, believing Odysseus was cursed by the gods. The crew's failure was not caused by monsters or gods alone, but by suspicion and impatience. The ancient Greeks understood disaster as a combination of divine will and human error. Odysseus's burden was not only to survive external threats, but to manage the flaws of those who followed him. Among the most dangerous figures Odysseus faced was the sorceress Circe, who transformed his men into animals through magic. With the help of the god Hermes, Odysseus resisted her enchantments and forced her to restore his crew. Circe became both a threat and an ally, offering Odysseus guidance for the journey ahead. She warned him of the Sirens, whose songs lured sailors to destruction, and advised him on how to survive Scylla and Charybdis, twin sea dangers representing unavoidable loss. Odysseus chose to sacrifice a few men to Scylla rather than risk total destruction, a decision reflecting the harsh calculations required of leaders. Circe also directed him to the underworld, where he would seek knowledge from the dead. This descent marked a turning point in Odysseus's journey. To reach home, he first had to confront death itself. In the underworld, Odysseus encountered the prophet Tiresias, who revealed the conditions of his return and warned him against harming the cattle of the sun god Helios. Odysseus also spoke with fallen heroes of the Trojan War, including Achilles, who confessed that glory in death was less valuable than life itself. These encounters deepened Odysseus's understanding of mortality, loss, and the cost of heroism. He learned that survival, not fame, was the true measure of success. The underworld revealed a somber truth, that even the greatest warriors could not escape the emptiness of death. Armed with this knowledge, Odysseus returned to the world of the living with renewed determination. Yet wisdom alone could not prevent tragedy. Fate still demanded its price. Despite clear warnings, Odysseus's crew slaughtered the sacred cattle of Helios when hunger overcame discipline. As punishment, Zeus destroyed their ship with a storm, killing every man except Odysseus. Alone at sea, he drifted to the island of Calypso, a nymph who offered him immortality if he would remain with her forever. For 7 years, Odysseus lived in comfort, yet he longed for Ithaca, for Penelope, and for his mortal life. This moment defines Odysseus more than any battle, as he rejected eternal pleasure in favor of identity and home. The gods eventually intervened, ordering Calypso to release him. Odysseus built a raft and resumed his journey, battered but unbroken. His resilience was not physical alone, but emotional and spiritual. When Odysseus finally reached Ithaca, his trials were not yet over. Disguised as a beggar, he observed the suitors who had overrun his palace, consuming his wealth and pressuring Penelope to remarry. His return was marked by patience rather than immediate vengeance. With the help of his son Telemachus and loyal servants, Odysseus planned his revenge carefully. The bow contest, which only he could complete, revealed his identity and restored order through decisive violence. The slaughter of the suitors reaffirmed ancient Greek values of hospitality, justice, and rightful rule. Odysseus reclaimed his home not as a conqueror, but as a restorer of balance. His reunion with Penelope emphasized intelligence over emotion, as she tested him before fully accepting his return. Trust, like victory, had to be earned. Odysseus' story endured because it mirrored the human experience as the Greeks understood it, full of struggle, error, cleverness, and persistence. He was not perfect, but profoundly human, capable of wisdom and arrogance, compassion and cruelty. His journey reflected the belief that life was shaped by both divine forces and personal choices. Through Odysseus, ancient audiences explored leadership, loyalty, temptation, and the cost of survival. His legacy influenced centuries of storytelling, philosophy, and cultural identity. Even today, his name is synonymous with long journeys and hard-earned wisdom. His story reminds us that endurance often matters more than speed, and intelligence can be as powerful as strength. Odysseus did not simply return home. He earned it. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life and legend of Odysseus, be sure to like this video. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more history-explained content. Let us know in the comments if there's another myth, hero, or a historical figure you'd like us to explore next, because your curiosity helps shape what stories we tell.